it boggles my mind too how this is even working. So we're gonna go on to the next run. The King's Dungeon, worlds 1 and 200%. Yep. Welcome back. Take it away.
It is a tiny little game, and it's a tiny little console. If you don't know the playdate, it's this right... Oh, sorry. This right here. This little tiny device. It is also the little console with a crank. It uses a crank. This crank is used as part of controls for the game. It doesn't power up the system. I'm not powering it with the crank. It is one of the controls, so you have A button, B button, D-pad, and a crank. So King's Dungeon, World 1 and 2, 100%. We're going to be going through the entirety of this game. It is a Microvania. If you don't know what a Microvania is, think Metroidvania, except in a smaller package. So where a game like Metroid or Super Metroid, something like that, might take for a speedrun like, 40 minutes or an hour or however long, this game, it's going to be a nice little quick experience to go through essentially 2 games back to back. In this game, we are a prisoner. We were thrown into the King's Dungeon because we stole the royal cheese. 100% means we've got to find all the hidden cheese and not so hidden cheese in each dungeon before we escape, so we could be filled with yummy cheese and steal cheese again. Also, any cheese puns would be great for donations, because let's keep puns coming in. With all of that being said, time will begin when I start World 1. Time will end when I finish World 2. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll begin the time in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And so this game also speedrun friendly. It has a timer in the upper corner. This game, because the playdate is also kind of a clock and all of the systems are standard, it means you could do in-game time for a speedruns, which is really cool. I always like keeping it nice and simple. That was cheese right there. One of the collectible cheese. If you die, you restart at the start of the screen you were on. I took that death on purpose because you couldn't go any faster than that screen would let you. Our main speedrun tech in this is coyote jumps. If you don't know coyote jumps, think Wile E. Coyote. Here's our first power-up. What's a Metroidvania without power-ups? And there's a secret cheese. This power-up lets us climb these chains. So I mentioned coyote jump. Think Wile E. Coyote. He would run off a ledge, hold up that yike sign before gravity would finally catch up and he'd fall down. There are a lot of games that have coyote jumps, where the developer threw in the ability to jump a couple frames after you run off a ledge, because it keeps things more friendly to the player. Well, for us, coyote jumps, we could jump at any point in this game until we touch the ground, which means if we run off a ledge, our jump is still active. We reset that. Ooh, boy, that ended up barely clipping on that one jump. We want to keep the perfect cycle here so we could get through. So our coyote jumps, watch as I jump here before I touch the ground. Oh, now we introduce the crank key. We use the crank to open crank key doors. So with our coyote jumps, we're going to extend jumps, we're going to manipulate jumps, we're going to go places that might be hard to get to otherwise. And then in World 2, they're actually going to force coyote jumps, which is say you have to use them or you won't be able to beat the run. What is a Metroidvania without double jumps? So we now have double jump ability. You'll notice I used that coyote jump to move in ways I shouldn't have been able to go from platform to platform. And then we are going to use it right here, although you might think of it as the double jump there, because double jump, you get the jump in mid-air. We're going to use a coyote jump up here to skip needing to grab that wall to climb up. And then this area here can be a little bit tricky. So we're just gonna do that. And there we go. We're going to use a death. Oh, did that a little too quickly. Did not want to die that quick. So one die right there. We'll restart the room. Use a coyote jump right there. Start cranking our crank key because there's a door right on the other side. All these people we could talk to. We're not going to talk to them though because that's just a waste of time. We have our mission, getting cheese. Also, speedrun power-up, the greatest speedrun power-up there is for any game, which is any game that gives you speed tech as a power-up. And that's what we have right here, the dash ability. Look how fast we move. You better believe we're going to use that as much as we can. Like right here. We will double jump over this ball. Dash, dash, grab this. Dash, use the crank key. And we are getting close to the end of World 1 as we grab the last power-up, which I call Super Saiyan. You kind of go like Goku with the whole, ah! Except for instead, you blow things up. Well, kind of like Goku, I guess. They call it Smash, I call it Super Saiyan. Either way, we use it to get through some areas. This room's almost like an auto-scroller. You cannot go quicker than these balls will let you. So we have to wait for this one right here. Blow this up. Go back again. And finally, we could get through this room. A little bit of aerial maneuvering on these. A final fun, tricky challenge, and then we're going to be in the last room of World 1. We will have all of the cheeses. We need to talk to the king. And of course, time won't be coming up yet because we gotta do World 2 also. About 5 minutes is really good for World 1, 100%. I think world record is about a 4:45. And yes, that's the end of that part of the game. We got 11 of 11, but now we're diving right in World 2. Time will be when we finish World 2, but World 2 is a little bit longer than World 1. Not too much longer, but maybe a minute or two. And we will go up this ladder, and things are going to be a bit trickier this time around. We could jump over this. We cannot get through that third ball without it hitting us if we just try and force our way through. Also, you cannot jump over these balls until you have double jump. If you try and jump over them, you will hit them barely because hitboxes are deceptively big. We're doing coyote jumps here. We don't have to, but it's easy miss a jump like that. Ooh, I did not count on that quite happening like that. And so, we'll get our first power-up of World 2. World 2, the power-ups are shuffled a little bit. We're going to start off with Super Saiyan, with Smash. We want to make sure we hug the wall, because that way we will clear 2 at a time. If we are 1 pixel to the left, we will only get 1 set of blocks, which is a huge loss of time, and we don't want to lose time, so make sure we do that right. Go under with a coyote jump, and that way we could get under that ball a little bit quicker. Then we're going to head back. This world has a little bit more backtracking to it, but that's all right. Just gives us a little more time to appreciate these very unique visuals. Like, you have to love really big, simple sprites because it's kind of a simple game or simple console. We'll blast this open. And World 2 has more exploration. If you don't know where you're going, it's easy to miss those smash spots. There's a cheese right up there. Speedrun strat right here is we want to take this top route as long as we can until here and fall down. If we fell down any point earlier, we would have lost some momentum. Horizontal momentum would have seen us hit our head on one of these blocks. So we fall down where we do. This guy, if you talk to him, will tell you about coyote jumps. He won't use that phrase exactly, but instead, he will say, have you tried jumping after you fell off a ledge? And it's the only way you could get through one of those jumps down there. So we will continue on and head towards our next power-up, which you could probably guess what it is by what's on the right side of this room. It is the crank key, which of course you want to crank before the text goes off screen, and that way you will get through it a little quicker. And now, with Crank Key and with Smash, with Super Saiyan, we can do what we need to do, which is get the dash ability. I mean, like I said, what is the best ability for speedrunning in a game? It's the one that makes you go fast. And that's what we want to do. Be like Sonic the Hedgehog. Gotta go fast. In this room, we have 2 spots we could destroy. We want to destroy that one. It is tricky getting down that ladder, so thankfully we did get down, because hitting down to go down a ladder is the same button you use for Smash. Smash is down, because you only have so many buttons on your controller. And sometimes you get stuck trying to go down that ladder and you just keep going over and over. Alright, now we have dash. And now we are going into some of the trickier puzzles in World 2. World 2, like I said, is a bit trickier than World 1. And we're going to see this room quite a bit. Because, well, there is more backtracking that we will see in World 2. Also, tricky hitboxes, so that is a lot harder than it looks, because those spikes and our character both have far bigger hitboxes than you would imagine. Also, momentum is very weird here, so you want to be very careful, because it's easy to fall down. Use Smash, and now we gotta get back to that room, which we've seen before, but we need to get to it from the other direction now that we use Smash to open it up a little. Being very careful of our hitboxes, and we will see this room again. Like, this is a room we will come to know quite well. And we'll go past the king again. The king's like, I seriously put you into the dungeon, and you look like you're having too much fun. And what can I say? I am. Oh, we're going to take a death there. Ooh, barely clipping things. We've got to move very fast here. And so this is a room that one of my friends nicknamed the Super Meat Boy room. And he named it that because if you start dying, it is easy to just repeatedly die, because the cycle in that room is bad news all around. And now we will get the wall climb. And maybe... Nope. Sometimes you could skip this entire room because of a glitch. This game has glitches, but they're very hard to predict and control. Speaking of hard to predict and control, we are going to head back. Ooh, there's that big hitbox energy. So we need to get the double jump, and the double jump is behind a incredibly tricky maneuver. It's actually not even a speedrun strat. Ooh, I missed that. It's not a speedrun strat. It is just a very hard normal route for this. And so coming up will be a very tricky area. Hopefully it goes good. Like if you were around for the What the Car run, I did an amazing job on a certain stage that I thought would be hard. Let's hope the same luck comes through for this. We'll grab 2 bonus cheeses, and then this room is going to be very, very hard. Because if you miss a practically pixel perfect jump, you have a chance of falling all the way back down, which is not what we want to have happen, obviously. And this jump is just about pixel perfect. I've had more runs die here. There we go. That was the jump. I cannot even state how hard this area is. Also, my hands are kind of big, and these buttons are very, very tiny. So we are in the home stretch. We are almost done with this run, almost done with my time with all of you. We just have one more little bonus cheese. Ooh, get up there. To collect, and then we are done. So time will be coming up in about, hopefully around 20-ish seconds, but maybe a touch longer depending. So we get our final bonus cheese right over here, and then time will be as soon as the screen goes black after we finish talking. The king is less verbose this time, so time is in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Yes, that was sadly the end of the game, the end of my runs with you, the end of my time hanging out with all of you, at least hanging out as the runner instead of just being in chat and being a viewer. But please consider donating to this wonderful cause, helping kids find forever homes. There is not much of a better cause I can think of in this world than making sure everyone has a family that they could call their own, that they have a home, that they, can relieve some of those stresses and uncertainty that come with being in that situation. So please donate. Also, thank you so much for joining for my runs, and keep watching. Still more runs up ahead.